La 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 la. Can't get you out of my head, girl. You all that I'm ever thinking about. Can't get you out of my head, well, you all that I ever think about. Can't you hear music? That seems insanely loud. Hello, Pixie Lee. Thank you for 3 likes. How's that volume now? Is that ASMR still insanely loud? It looks very... Or is that music still loud? Because it looked quite loud. Quite loud. Ooh, hopefully talking like this doesn't hurt my voice too bad. I can feel it straining a little bit. Walk the Circle K all by myself. What a lovely song. Hello. Hi. Sorry for all the noise. I probably should have gathered myself a little earlier. Shall we start, perhaps, with a little face tracing while I go over what my week and day and hours have been with you? Excuse me as I scoot a little closer. Gotta connect earbuds. Now, how have you been today? It is so lovely to see you. I've quite missed you since the last time we spent a moment. Just about a week. Perfectly, isn't it? I would have been here yesterday, but I've been quite intensely tired. Quite so. Thank you. Thank you for the heart. Excuse my notification. Go away, phone. It's been a very eventful week. Went on a little trip. Took a boat ride. Hour and 45 minutes. In a car, about the same amount of time. Hiking. A little national park. Provincial park. Some sort of park with a waterfall. Very pretty. Like somebody right in front of me. I've been listening to a lot of radio. A lot of music in general. I was in the car last week and I heard a song that I hadn't heard in 10 or 15 years, and the words came to me and they left. but I had full confidence that although I didn't know what the song was or any of the words, even though I had just sung the whole song, that my phone had my back. For I have a little app that automatically will identify music. But I guess it didn't identify this one song in particular for some reason. I have since found it. It's Nelly Furtado, Powerless. But that prompted me to listen to a lot of radio. Now it's been very nostalgic listening to radio. It's been a funny feeling. I've listened to radio all sorts of times of my life. I spent a lot of time locked in a basement listening to the radio. So to listen to it above ground feels nice. But I also appreciate radio. I like VCR, for example. I like physical media. I like having CDs to play my own music. I don't want everything to be digital. How did I start talking about this? That's an excellent question. What would you like to talk about today? What's on your mind? Sent an awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you. I have a rose here somewhere. My whole desk is in a real messy way. I'll have to give it a nice clean. I've been in a little bit of a funk. A classic funky state. And when I'm like this, all my work areas or my play areas become little tornado zones. Become little zones that are just like a natural disaster hit. Just a little earthquake struck and shook everything around. And now I have felt pens and ink and paper towels covered in ink and towels covered in ink and cups for water and everything everywhere all at once. What a beautiful movie. Have you watched any nice movies lately? I sure have. Hello. I don't know if you've ever been present for any ASMR streams. At the moment, I'm just tracing your little face and talking about what comes to mind. Maybe you could ASMR showing us a recent drawing. What a lovely idea. I have several recent drawings. Let's see. Where to start? I have been, over the last couple months, slowly gaining my mojo back, or something of the sort. I've been away from drawing. Well, I've never been away from drawing, but I've certainly been drawing a lot less over the last 2 years. And I've made a real concerted effort to draw a lot more. Here's just a little doodle just a small doodle of a man with bugs. I did this in 10 minutes or so or less. It was a day I didn't have any time for myself, and I just... Oh, let me turn that light out. Goodness gracious. And I was in a real tizzy, in a real... Thank you for the roses. I was in a real rush to get anything down on the page. See, if you want to look again, he's got little stick bugs and little moths and little worm guy. Just a little dude who's friends with bugs. I would love to be friends with bugs. I'm a little squeamish. I'm a little averse to things that creep and crawl. And I prefer not to be, because I think they're just little friends, aren't they? Now let's find some more drawings I've done. Well, I've got like random drawings that I like in this book, like this. Gosh, is it gonna be too difficult to see? This little fellow I drew with my left hand, my non-dominant hand, a couple years ago. It's a little book. I've had it for a couple years. I love the quality of this paper. It feels so nice, so lovely. This is my dipping pen. My little dipping pen. This is so relaxing. That's the goal. I want to own bugs at some point. So we can have some chill bug pals. I would love to do that. I would love to own bugs. Ambidextrous king, I wish. I am very weak with my other hand. Now, where have all my little drawings gone? Where are you? There you are. Let's see if the camera will focus on this. Your eyes do not deceive you. That's me. That's me. I like this a lot. I did it with some microns. Not fine line microns. Little kind of felt tipped microns. Oh, and my other drawing I did recently. It occurred to me, should I? I don't know if I have anything to say about this drawing. But I'll show you again. Oopsie, oopsie. Got a piece of paper. I'll show you again so I can try to think of something to say. It's me. Little bloody nose. It's not black ink. It's a navy blue. And I don't know how well you can see the colors around. The spiral is purple. I've been studying my face. I've been unhappy with my portraiture. I felt like practicing. It's been a fine, long amount of time since I've taken some effort to commit myself to paper. I was a young lad, first living on my own at 16, when I was last spending serious time studying myself. I was in a deep, profound depression. The situation I found myself in that made me on my own was a little unsavory. spent a lot of time drawing, and I got very good at drawing with my left hand, and I regret that I have not kept the skill up. But I would like to. I should be practicing that quite soon. So this was my effort to pay attention to myself. And I found over this process of drawing myself that, let me turn you down. I've learned a little bit of an appreciation for my visage currently. I needed to study myself a little bit and get a little more gentle with myself. Thank you for sharing the live, and thank you for your likes. Your presence is noted and known and appreciated. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. This is a character I've recently made that I am extremely happy with. I don't know his name. I don't even know which world I'll put him in. I have an idea. I have a couple ideas. Well, perhaps that's an understatement. I have a positive maelstrom of ideas, a whirlwind. Thank you for the roses. I love you. Thank you for the follows. You are appreciated and you are loved. This, I've been calling him my vampire. That was not intended from the beginning. This whole page was intended to be a rather random doodle page that I was unhappy with. I put a few lines down and I refused to tear pages out of my books, but if I didn't have that rule, this page would have been gone. So I decided to cover over it. And this is him. I like him a lot. I'm very happy with him. I did a lot of thinking while drawing this. A lot of thinking over the past couple of weeks while drawing. It's been my meditative state. Excuse me, my little light on my webcam is necessary for looking at my art, but it's so bright for my sensitive eyes. I've also been drawing myself in my underwear, if you're interested in seeing that. It's nothing shocking or anything. I have a lot of work yet before well, I guess I could just stop the sentence there. I have a lot of work to do on my art and my artistic skills. Thank you for the roses. A lot of work, obviously. Every single day. Isn't that the case? And this is my best attempt. Currently, I'm drawing a little picture of myself that I had taken with a little medicine. Oops. Let's turn you down again. A little bit of medicine. You were my first love, and you'll be my last love. Native art. These are drawings of bears. drawings of bears, and you'll be my last love. These are drawings of this rattle. You may become familiar with this rattle, assuming you hang out. I often do, while I'm doing ASMR, I'll trace this rattle. We like little eye cleaning. We like when I trace you with an instrument, and I'll trace this. And so I've been drawing this little rattle to practice drawing native art, as I am Afro-Indigenous. These are drawings I did on stream a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And you'll be my last love. And these are drawings of myself. I don't know if I have more new drawings to show you. Drawings of myself. I've been enjoying this a lot. I've just been enjoying myself on the page. Although I remain quite busy. The time that I have to draw is rather limited, so I spend a significant amount of time trying to not freak out. I think I have a page in here to show you. Maybe not. I suppose that's everything. Well, I've been drawing a dream that I had recently. A dream that's a part of a series of dreams that I've been having in a world where I am possessed of a knowledge of great evil, of a demon, or many demons, a legion of demons, that are intent on causing pain. And these dreams started years ago. These dreams started with me by myself, becoming a owner of this knowledge of supernatural terrors, and praying to something, anything, for the knowledge or power to do something. How can I face such a grave thing as just a person? And I remembered waking up with a ring. In the dream, I had fallen asleep and woken up with a ring, and woken up in possession of a ring that allowed me sight, that allowed me to interact with immaterial things, with supernatural things. So this is like a like a visual from my dream of me basically summoning magic, summoning a bolt of mana. Is this Lord of the Rings? Something of the sort. And this is a little character I'm drawing. Little person of that world. Little artificer. She's got runes on her back like antenna for a radio. She appeared in my recent dream along with her brother, both artificers, both on the run with me from magical authorities, people who were also knowledgeable of the danger of the Demon King, of the Demon Scourge, of what have you. But we were disallowed to take action against them for fear of the unknown. But in this dream, us three and a group of other defectors made an effort to set an ambush, basically. Gosh, the gears in my hand are spinning trying to decide where to start with it, because these dreams came to me so recently. I'm still putting them together. There's one dream in particular I've been writing a lot about. The water just ran for a millionth of a second. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for looking at my drawings. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. If we're interested, I have been taking opportunities on stream to read from this little world I'm writing about. And love, I'll be true to you. Would we be interested in perhaps listening a moment to what I've written so far? Don't allow. There we are. So, the events that I was telling you about, the ones that I was writing, that I was drawing here. So, this dream, this is little doodle page, has like an old Volkswagen Beetle. It's got wood panels and like black around the tires and like all that, and it's decked out with all sorts of magical instruments and things of that sort. And this building, this blue up there, that's where we're hiding out. Now, the first part of the dream is me flying. This is years and years after gaining possession of the ring and gaining the ability to augment myself to some degree and to manipulate mana. So, my most grandiose and impressive power appears to be forming just a spike of pure mana and throwing it, which causes a lot of light. That's what that image is. I'm very excited to write about it. I'm very excited to flesh it out and to get my thoughts straightened out and to share it with you. The most extensive writing I have currently is only about 1,400 words. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the go popular. I love you. It's called The Rotted City. It takes place after the events of this dream where we attempted an ambush and all this, and it seems stuff did not go our way. Now, the music that we have been using for this dream, suggested by Pixie Lee, is from The Last of Us. Let's see, is this the music? Is this the right one, Pixie? Oh, my little hairs got caught. So, this is a dream I started writing a couple days ago. You can't hear it. Here, let's turn it up. How's that? You were my first love. That song's been in my head. I've been learning it on harmonica. So I've just been singing it non-stop. Oh, a follow up here. Thank you for the follow. I'll be true to you. How's this? Good, excellent. So this is the rotted city. I dreamt I was in a city choked with rot. I roamed what was left of a once bustling capital, the world that looked like my nightmares had been showing me for years, but that I had brushed off in hopes that it was just that, just nightmares. But my future sight showed true. The world was caught in spores, in endless dark. No one was out. Everything alive was hidden, waiting in ambush or fighting for their lives. I remember crying, cowering, being on one knee in a room not my own. I reached out in silence to something, to anything, asking for help, strength, just a touch of guidance. I crouched in a corner beside the bed for a long time, allowing my tears to fall to the floor, stifling sobs so as not to be heard by potential wandering entities. After a few minutes, I placed my hand on the bed to leave, and I felt something on top of the neatly made blankets. I lifted my hand and held a small blue flower. One gentle blue flower. A sliver of faded color in this gray, spore-covered city. I placed the flower with my belongings and kept moving. The building I found myself in was particularly rotted, half eaten away by thick gray mold with streaks of blue coursing through it. Fat flakes of ash, dust and spore drifted lazily through many halls of this apartment building and through the city itself. Outside, the streets were clotted with layers on layers of malady that made this place inhospitable to non-magical entities and perilous to those who wielded magic. The spore that drifted through the air ceaselessly would drift toward sources of life or of mana unless precaution was taken and proper rituals cast for protection. Needless to say, life was quite dour in this part of the world, but my purpose remained. Hey, hello. Reading a little dream that I've been writing. As I moved moved on through the apartment building, I found no one and few items of use, but that was nothing new for me. This was far from the first building I'd scored. This was far from the first building I'd scoured, ever searching, but for what? To find another empty room, searching for the sake of searching, to remain on the move, to find the desiccated remains of another less fortunate than myself, or perhaps more fortunate. Something needed to change. If I saw one more body, I would do what I had to do to leave this plane. I continued through the halls, clearing each room. Most doors were unlocked, left in haste and terror. Those that were locked were rotted to the point that they were easily bypassed with a strong shoulder. Or so I had thought. For in the middle of a hall, after days of search, I found myself abated by one solid door, locked, stuck fast in its frame. I needed to find a way into this room. The room previous gave way easily, so I backtracked, looking for rotted walls, thinking, remembering the layout of the apartments above. I hadn't noted any weak spots in the floor. With so many weakened homes, holes in the floor were common, and you had to look out for them. But I recalled not a thing, nothing of interest. All I recalled from searching the previous floor was a particularly solid floor. I searched each adjacent room, finding no way through, and taking a moment to rest, I stood still and looked outside. I made a habit of looking outside, despite my despair, on each reminder of my surroundings. I must look out for threats after all, or hints, or inspiration. And outside, I found an answer. The balcony. I bounded to the sliding door, gross and filthy, covered in mold and stuck, but not impassable. Taking time and care not to make noise enough to attract something, I got the door open after some prying and found myself leaning over the edge, keeping an eye out for danger. Though I was high in the apartment building, I was not safe from outside threats. Perhaps I shouldn't climb from one balcony to another after all. The fall is quite steep. And what could one room possibly have that every other room didn't? I couldn't imagine what the room held, but I felt a whisper, a glimmer, the tiniest shred of something, and I felt compelled. I felt the tug of the room. My nose felt pulled towards it. What I didn't feel, however, was the climb from one balcony to another. I had no recollection of crossing the gap, but crossed I had, and now I stood outside of a spore-stained sliding glass door. I made an attempt to clear spore from the glass with my sleeve, and silently chuckled to myself. Not a single piece of glass visible. I had to enter this room blind. Bracing for possible noise of effort, or for something on the other side, I placed my left hand on the handle and brandished my other, and slammed the door wide open. Expecting a stuck door, I had used far too much force. And the damage being done, the silence being shattered, I leapt into the house before anything outside could see me, or so I hoped. Thank you for the follow. I love you. The inside of the apartment was barren, picked clean but somewhat tidy. It wasn't abnormal for rooms to be fairly clean. Most rooms had been raided for resources long ago, and some were just well kept before abandonment. What was odd, however, was the lack of dust or spore. Every room previously in all the states of disarray they'd been left, remained in a layer of spore or dust, but this room was completely clean of it. Something had to have been active in here recently. I readied myself to fight. The only route to run away was the door behind me. If anything was here, I would have to face it head on. So I took a breath and began to move through the apartment swiftly, scanning each room, clearing them and moving on, not stopping until each room was cleared, until I reached a locked door. The master bedroom. But a simple lock, bypassed with anything long and thin. I took a moment to gather myself and pat down my cloth-wrapped arms to find a pin I had left there. I took a breath, and with a click, I was through into a spore-infested room. A body in the corner, directly in front of me being the source. Jammed in between the bed and the wall was a dried, emaciated corpse, curled into a ball, dressed in scavenged rain jackets, cradling a shoulder bag tightly. All this for another body. A moment of hope, dashed. I had allowed my longing to bring me here, to another end. I collapsed in the doorway, shoulder pressed into the frame, head down, and my hand pressed into the carpet. My right hand pressed into the carpet that had grown an extra layer of soft gray fluff. The spores, having been disturbed by the door opening, began to fill the new space, floating harmlessly past me. I'm protected from the malediction floating along and over my body, the source of my protection being my ring on my right hand that gently hummed with power. The noises and lights of my ring were mostly imperceptible, and to those not allowed or versed in such magics, fully invisible. The ring emitted a slight glow and a sound in the presence of magic, so traveling with a slight hum in this magical spore had become quite normal in this rotted place. So normal that I had nearly missed it. The buzz emanating from the corpse. Coming to, I stood and approached the body. The energy felt alien. The purpose felt familiar. Could it be? I swiftly and carefully sifted through the corpse's pockets and its surroundings before picking up the bag and feeling it. Opening the bag, I found the source, a speaking totem. I was somewhat familiar with speaking totems. They came in different sizes and shapes, the one before me being about 8 inches tall and a few inches in diameter, was a carved wooden idol of a robed woman. Imbued with mana, these could be used to speak over great distances. A totem can connect to several totems or be locked as a coupling. These communication talisman can be used over short distance by non-magic entities. But to think that a group of non-magics would have found how to utilize this tool without previous knowledge, before the rot became known to the wider world, I couldn't imagine it. With the world as it was now, Perhaps a group of non-magic users had figured out how to use this talisman with the new context in which they now lived. But perhaps not. More likely, this person found themselves in possession of an item they thought religious and became pursued by Spore. Whatever the case, I sensed no magic in these bones, save for what had seeped in. Thank you. Where was I? Whatever the case, I sensed no magic in these bones, save for what had seeped in from the Spore. The person seemed to have no knowledge of the magic they held. Otherwise, they would have thrown the totem out the window, no? Or had the proper precaution. The existence of this totem may have been forgotten, or perhaps the group using them had died, and there were more totems that lay under mountains of detritus and death. Or perhaps there was another on the other side, or several others, a network of survivors with one unlucky scout. I could find connection. I could find asylum in the company of another. No, perish the thought. You mustn't make up hope again. I found myself reaching for the totem, hands vibrating not only from the magic detection of my ring, but with the aching, the longing, the want that lived in my skin. I'd been alone for so long, I nearly acted without thought. Touching the totem would mean knowing. I could feel if an entity was attached to this totem, and they in turn would be able to feel me. I needed to handle this matter with care. Other survivors were not all acting in the interest of harmony and fellowship after all. I knew not what danger or solace was attached to this totem. I would have to perform a ritual to better gauge the situation. Wiping my face with my ringed hand, I gathered myself. Long days and nights of endless wandering, restless pondering, and quiet aching had clouded my mind. But now I felt a sobriety and clarity of mind that I hadn't felt in a long, long time. Need to fix your output. Only left channel is working. Some work on your earbuds, but not on PC. I see. Well, that's everything that I have written. And my output is set to mono. Ooh, very good. Yes, what do we think? Oh, there we are, converting to mono again. How is that, Gabe? If you're still there. Hello. That is my little story I've been writing. You'll check on PC. That's my story. That's my dream that I had. There's still more to the dream. But I have 5 little paragraphs. 1,400 words. And I've just been slowly plugging away. You love this. Thank you very much, my friend. Excuse me. I love you. It's so lovely to see you today. How have you been? It's been positively forever. We need to have a call. We need to have a meeting. My cat is running around. We need to call a meeting imminently, expeditiously. We need to discuss. We need to speak to each other. I miss you, my friend. You are missed. I think about you all the time. I don't know if you've Have you been to any ASMR streams? I've only done a couple. 2 away from the gift goal. Woo! Keep them coming, pretty please. And remember to follow and like if you enjoy the content. The content. The product. If you enjoy my presence, I would love to see you around more. And it would make me quite happy if you gave a follow. Let's put it that way. I like that a lot better. You were my first love, soldier boy. Just been a bit locked in with stuff. Been dabbling in cartomancy and tarot. Ooh, tarot. That's very cool. That's very cool. And cartomancy is very cool. I'd love to pick your brain about it. What have I been dabbling in? I've been dabbling in drawing. I've been dabbling in writing. I've been dabbling in reading. I've been recording. I've been recording things in... My cat is being noisy. I've been recording things in Audacity. And practicing editing video. Well, not video. Practicing editing audio. I've been editing audio. What would we like me to do idly? Do you want to be traced? Or eyeball cleaned? Or shall I trace this little fellow? Or you're in your story weaver era? Hell yes, brother. The sweet bard is at it again. Has there ever been a time that I was not a storyteller? I've been pondering on this lately. I've been pondering. And you were my last love. I've been pondering my storyteller past and my artistic history. I've been an artist since I was 2 years old. I've been drawing since I was 2. I've been exploring everything that came past me, every single thing, all the arts and crafts that I could. I've knit, I've sewn, I've played with clay, I've painted. I've been painting with watercolor. You're just about to ask if I had the comb. Yes, I do have the comb. Of course I have the comb. Now, tell me and be honest. Is it abysmal for the comb to be going while I'm talking? Because I find myself positively mesmerized by the comb. And I totally forget how sensitive your ears are currently with my microphone. And I don't know if I sound muddled. You like the comb? Thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you. And thank you to Toothless for all your gifts this stream. And thank you to Thena as well. You are loved and you are appreciated. Thank you to the unicorn for the follow. I love you. I love unicorns. I haven't drawn a unicorn in a great long while. That's a good point, actually. I need to draw a unicorn. I've been making an effort to draw fantastical beasts again. I've been drawing dragons. I started drawing dragons as a baby. My father, sperm donor, what have you, that sort of deal, he used to draw some years ago before he broke his hands fighting. He used to draw, and he would draw dragons. And I remember having the thought, I want to draw a dragon just like that. And I had that thought before I was any good at talking, because I was about 2 years old. So I started drawing, and I never stopped. And here I am today. Thank you for the follow, Big Nose Dude. I'm a fellow Big Nose Dude. Was that perhaps a factor? Have I thought about getting a dragon tattoo? Yes. Oh, what day do I not think about getting a dragon tattoo? Truly, the only thing stopping me is financial circumstances. I adore dragons. I want terribly, terribly, terribly to have dragon scales on my hand so that I can see them when I draw. And because in my life, dragons have been the symbol of creativity and imagination and wonderment. They have been the savior. They've been the everything. I wanted to be a dragon growing up tremendously. I used to have dreams of becoming a dragon and flying out of school, flying away from my troubles and my problems. I flew away from my foster home. I flew away from school. I flew away from my family into the sky as a beautiful red eastern dragon, the serpentine, like a Chinese dragon or a Japanese dragon with their whiskers. I was red. I remember that dream vividly, and I woke up upset, finding myself remaining human. Growing up, I was a phoenix kid. Oh, I love phoenixes. I've drawn many phoenixes. But Yakuza opened my eyes to dragons. Yes, I know you as Gigadrill Dragon. I feel we've always had an excellent bond of friendship. And I think that was a major part of it, was you having dragon in your name. Also, you're a lovely person, there is that, but how can you beat meeting a fellow dragon enjoyer? How can you beat it? Before we even spoke to each other, I got to have an impression of you that was positive. And then it was correct. How cool is that? You're so lovely. I think about you constantly. For those of you who visit the stream, I think of you as well. I think of as a rather small channel. Holy smokes. 6 followers this stream. Goodness gracious, and heavens to Betsy. You're making me blush. Thank you very much. As a rather small channel, I don't have a ton of followers, so I have a lot of room in my mind to think of the few that I do constantly, and I send well wishes to all of you. I often muse at my desk while I'm drawing, and I wonder what my fellow internet goers are up to. I wonder if you're making beautiful art, if you're creating things. I hope you are. I hope you're smiling, and I hope you're doing well, always. Even if you don't have dragon in your name, you get my well wishes. Look at this. Do you see this? We have shed a tooth on this little comb. Brand new comb. Brand new. Gaining some character. A little bent tooth right there. You're in your jester era. What a transition. Yeah, jester. Jesters are cool. Jesters are cool. And be the jester, not the fool. Jester. That reminds me of... Well, maybe I won't talk about old Japanese cinema with you. But there's a character in here who's the court jester. He's very pretty. I have a crush on him. Alas, that movie was made in the 80s, I believe, by Akira Kurosawa. And I think my chance is rather gone quite a long time ago. But jesters are cool. What era am I in? What do I strike you as? I have not been drawing dragons very much for a long time, although I will say I recently stumbled upon a little collectible. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you. This is a little dragon that I found in a sandwich shop that also has all sorts of nifty trinkets and doodads and knickknacks. And I recall having this dragon as a 4-year-old, I believe. 3 or 4 years old. It came in an egg in a bunch of pieces. I put them together, and I had a few of them, and I haven't seen them since. For when I was 5, my mother went away with myself and my sibling in hopes of a better life. And I didn't see a lot of my little favorite guys. I lost a lot of my little toys. I had a phoenix as well. I had a goofy little rubber phoenix that I would climb up onto chairs and jump off with. And so what era am I in currently? I guess Story Weaver era, as you put it. I'm in my Bard era. I'm just in sharing mode. I've always wanted to share my art. I've always wanted others to be a part of it, whether they're viewing or giving input. I've always wanted that connection. I've wanted to connect with other artists and other creators. And lately, I've I've been connecting to other artists. I've been on TikTok forming my algorithm. I've been, excuse me, Jester and Bard. What a duo. Yes, indeed. You'll get there, bro. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Leon, Elion, Ion. We have detected inactivity during your current live. Excuse you. Inactivity, my foot. Inactivity. How dare you? This is activity. This is what gets the follows. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Don't forget about the sweet druid. Pixie Lee is the sweet druid. I am the sweet bard. Dreamy Jester is a dreamy, dreamy jester. What a lovely trio. What class are you? Lovely people. I've never played D&D. I want desperately to. I love playing pretend. I love role-playing. The first streams I did on TikTok were role-playing. I'd get dressed up and I'd play ridiculous characters. If you look at any of the videos, you'll see it. I also have videos of me playing video games, of me drawing. I think I'll keep them all up, because I think that's cute. I rather like... Oh. Another tooth came out. Save that for the tooth fairy. My hair appears to be a little too powerful for this. Soldier boy. Good question. Yes. What class are you? Oh, excuse me. You might hear a little creaking as I get myself adjusted. While I adjust, perhaps I should drink a little bit of water. I feel as though a sickness has been clawing desperately at me, attempting to take me. Goodness gracious. And drinking water, I can definitely feel an ache in my throat a little bit. I'll be true to you. I think a bard perfectly suits me. I think that my whole life, the way that I would describe myself, absolutely, if I was to distill myself into one word, it would be artist. My first love being art. My first language being art. I made art before I could talk. Now 2-year-olds can talk a little bit. They can say things. And at the time I certainly thought I was saying things. And I recall being frustrated with how little people understood me. I recall having to repeat myself over and over and over again, ad nauseum, talking to these big people who would laugh when I spoke, and I never understood it until I met 2-year-olds later in life, until I had my good friend down the street. he had a little sister, and I was around to see her growing up. You know, I had not had experiences with babies until I was in my teens. But I never made that connection until more recently. That it's just kind of funny hearing 2-year-olds speak. And that's why everybody was laughing at me. Hello, thank you for the follow, Jaden Armstrong. Thank you, thank you. Your presence is known and appreciated. You are strong and you are wise and you are loved, all of you. How do we feel about me just running my fingers through my hair? I like this. A little bit of... Oh, goodness. Has that been in the way the entire time? Sorry. That must have been incredibly loud. I apologize. I apologize. You like my hair? Thank you. It's okay, don't worry. It's soothing. Excellent, excellent. I've been playing with the idea of cutting my hair a little bit lately, but I've decided I won't. I think if I do cut my hair any serious amount, it'll be in many more years from now. Though my hair does need a trim, and though my scalp does need a break every once in a while, I am Afro-Indigenous. My hair reflects that. I have incredibly thick hair, and I have wavy hair. It's quite straight, but it has waves, and it has volume, and it has weight. So when my hair, as it got longer, it got weighed down, and the volume is no longer on the top. It used to be real puffy, and when I sweat, my hair puffs up. I don't know what the science is behind that. My hair just frizzes out, and it holds water incredibly, annoyingly well. I only use conditioner on it every 2 weeks about. Otherwise my scalp gets itchy and messed up, and I'll shampoo it maybe once a week usually, maybe twice, depending on what I've been up to. The summer's coming. My wash frequency will be increased a bit. But other than that, I kind of have... My hair's gorgeous. Thank you very much. I grew it myself. I've been growing it since about 2020. And I have the condition that I've heard that many men have, where I can kind of just rub dirt in it, and it grows healthy. Soldier boy. Learning that song on harmonica has been very fun. I've been jamming a lot on the harmonica. I got myself my first harmonica in December. I've been wanting a harmonica my whole life. I used to have harmonica. Well, my father used to be in possession of harmonicas from his father. There appears to be a creature behind me making noises. Right. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you. Thank you for everyone following. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your presence. You are appreciated, and You are loved. My kupa, my grandfather, was a blues musician, among many other things. He was an artist. I come from a large family of artists on both sides. Do you see yourself possibly getting an RV and just traveling around? Gosh, that does sound lovely, doesn't it? If I can take you being stream, if we can just go and stream from a remote location and do ASMR somewhere pretty, that would be nice. I like being on the internet. I also enjoy being disconnected, mightily so. I really enjoy being disconnected and drawing. I enjoy physical media with drawing. I like to put in a CD and listen to music and draw. I'd like to be disconnected from the internet, but I would miss it dearly. And also, an RV. I think I'm too dainty for that. I think I get rather uncomfortable rather quickly. I have a lot of belongings. I guess you're just asking if I would get in or get an RV. Yeah, absolutely. When I was 10 years old, I had foster parents, and they brought us across a couple provinces. I got to see the Rocky Mountains, and we went into why am I blank? We went to Saskatchewan and Alberta, and it was nice. It's cool. I've always wanted to be around new places. I just like new experiences. I like new places. I like new people. But I hate new places. And I hate new people. I like to be by myself. I don't want the noise. I don't want the effort. I don't want the energy and the time. But I also love that. I love spending time learning about new people from different places. That's why I love the internet. I've spent a considerable amount of time just talking to people from all over the world, learning languages, learning bites of languages, let's say. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know a little bit of Spanish. Aprende español. Aprendiendo. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, viene bajando. My accent needs a lot of work. I've learned to sing the alphabet in Arabic, in, is it Czech? Or was it Croatian, I think I learned it in Croatian. I've learned, my favorite alphabet I've learned in another language so far is Swedish, because it's unique. All the other ones that I've learned so far have just been happy birthday translated into other languages. I can sing it in Spanish, not in French, funnily enough. You could definitely do RV life someday. Yeah, I could see it. For you, for me, I have a lot of belongings. I would like to live a part-time RV life. I could do a season in an RV. But a life, I have so many things I like to have. My favorite living space was living in a tent for a month, but access to Wi-Fi and bathroom, of course. Of course. There's a fine balance, it seems. I respect it, yes. I agree with the sentiment of being online. Lately I've been drawn to old things. Like me, my friend. Going analog is tempting nowadays, yes. Absolutely. I have a PS3 that's modded to play old PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. And I have a large collection of movies. The other day I just decided, because I haven't been watching that many movies, I've been so heinously busy, I decided to just throw one of my Godzilla movies on that I haven't seen yet. I have just a little DVD set of like 10 Godzilla movies. So I put Godzilla 2000 on. And the CD has very few options. The only option I have is to put on subtitles. So I watched an English dub of Godzilla 2000, and I rather enjoyed it. I just loved having a DVD of standard definition, not a Blu-ray, not 4K Ultra HD, just a humble DVD in standard def. Just some funny voices of English folks just dubbing over. I love that. RV life with a respawn base, exactly. Been binging the Three Stooges a lot, excellent. And Popeye, loved Popeye growing up. Holy moly, you are going backwards, yes. Yes, my friend, backwards is the way. Bass ackwards. Bass ackwards. Got a little itchy. Got some itches. Hello, we have a couple people watching. So nice to have you here. Remember to like and follow if you enjoy my presence. I enjoy yours. And I'd love to see you more. Go live every weekend. Potentially a little bit more, depending on what our availability is. ASMR streams tend to happen at night. In the daytime, I'll do drawing streams sometimes. Going bass backwards. I have a VCR I want to set up, and I want to watch my tapes. I have about 300, maybe more, old tapes. It's ineffable. Thank you for the follow. Your presence is known and appreciated. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. I wonder what time it is for everyone right now. That is a good question. What time is it for you? For me, it's reaching midnight. Getting there. I've been sleeping in these days. Last couple days I've been sleeping in. How long did I sleep in today? 10 or 11? Maybe a little later. About 11, I think. I've been a little under the weather. Traveling recently, potentially. Got this household sick. 2:39. Luckily, you don't have to work tomorrow. Ooh, excellent. Excellent. So nice to have you here. You've hit your 24-hour mark on your shift. 18 more hours to go. Goodness gracious. And heavens to Betsy. May I ask what you do for work? Are you perhaps a superhero? Are you Spider-Man fighting the Rhino? You're on your 24th hour of fighting. You're tired and he's not showing any sign of letting up. You want to stop so bad. You know that comic panel? That little iconic panel? Is that you? My first love, and you'll be my last love. I'll be true to you. You're an EMT. You are a superhero. I see. I hold high respect for EMTs. I've got a lot of respect. What a stressful job it seems like. Very important. I worked as a support worker, working with homeless and drug addicted and poor or just unlucky folks who needed help and needed a warm meal. I worked at a little support place, not a shelter, but a resource, public resource. And we would have to call EMTs in for people who were overdosing in the bathroom or overdosing on the couch and wouldn't wake up. And being in that proximity to somebody having an emergency, it's a lot. I hope you're doing okay. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And thank you. First responders. Well, you know, like ambulance and firefighters, I respect. And I send all my well wishes to the real life superheroes, the real protectors. Growing up, I wanted to be firefighter, policeman, doctor, astronaut, all at the same time. I wanted to fix the world. I would still like to play a part in making the world a better place. But I don't think I have the stomach to be a first responder. Or the feet. I have flat feet, you see. I have plantar fasciitis. Rather severely. Went untreated due to neglect in my younger years while I was a dependent. And in my older years, I've been figuring out how to deal with it. So, I found that my dreams of being a firefighter and lifting people out of catastrophe are rather behind me. But I find that I have a lot of hopes as an artist to spread the joy of creativity and imagination and of emotion in general. I want to share that, and I want that to be the way that I help the world. Cisco? Try again. Argyle. Schmackin'. Schmackin'. And you were my last love. Who else do I look like? When I have short hair, I look like Taylor Lautner, even though he's a white man, which is very surprising to me. I can't believe Taylor Lautner doesn't even have an ounce of native in him. Isn't that insane? I am quite native. Native Canadian, Native American, whichever, indigenous folks of North America look very similar. So I look like a lot of Mexican folk. Although I am not. I bear resemblance to many native people around the world. Cisco, I haven't heard that one in a long time. That brings back memories of the early days of streaming. You look like that one high dude in Stranger Things 4. Yes, that's Argyle. I adore Argyle. He says, schmackin'. Schmackin'. I've got this button up, kind of Argyle vibes. Do I emit stoner vibes to you? Do I appear to you as a stoner? What do I make? I make a lot of things. Mostly I draw. Would you like to see some? Earlier in the stream I was going over some of my recent drawings. I'll be true to you. I've been learning the harmonica since December. I have a key of A and a key of C harmonica. Now let's see. This is a book I've been using for a long time. So I'm just going through old pages and filling them. So I have to look a lot. I have to get bookmarkers and stuff. So I've been drawing myself a lot. Good night. Good night, Jordy love. Thank you for coming. You are strong, you are wise, you are loved. Have an excellent night and sweet dreams. Thank you, Buttered Toast, for the follow. Your presence is known and appreciated. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And this is me. You love Soldier Boy? I also love Soldier Boy. It's just been an excellent little earworm. It's been a pleasant song for me to have on loop in my brain for the last couple days, weeks, months. How long has it been? I've just been learning it for the last couple days, so everybody in my house has been forced to have it in their head as well. This is me. This is in microns. I've been practicing drawing faces, drawing myself. I want to do portraits of other people and practice my portraiture. I'm more into drawing creatures and fantastical things. But I would like to be good at drawing people. Because I like drawing people. I'd like to draw people from TikTok. I'd like to draw people from my life. I'd like to make up people. This is a made up person. that I drew recently. He doesn't have a name yet. I call him the vampire. Your earworm is Girl Like Me, the Pink Pantheress song. I don't think I'm familiar with it. I should probably give it a listen if it's an earworm of yours. I always rather enjoy the music that you throw my way. I've been meaning to add to the little playlist you sent me a while ago, but I've been so dumbstruck by the amount of options that I have to add. I've been listening to blues of all sorts from so many people and listening to different. I've been listening to lots of rap and like Old Dirty Bastard I've been into real heavy lately. Exploring J. Cole for the first time. That's cool. You love my art style? Thank you very much. I'm very happy with this page. This was a doodle page that I grew upset with, and I drew over it. I drew this face over it, and you might see little lines of the vestiges of an old drawing covered up by something of a sinister man. And he's got a little skull, and that was part of the doodle before, and I just kind of liked it being there. I haven't decided anything about it. It's just there. I don't think it's a piece of jewelry of his or anything. What a positively terrifying and disgusting noise I just heard. Are you moving around in that other room? Please. Maybe there's some sort of creature outside. Let's see what other. This is an old sketchbook that I used to draw in on stream on Twitch. I used to stream on Twitch. So, got lots of old stuff. This is from a couple years ago. You're in my walls. Come out of there. Let's watch some movies together. Let's play. I want to play a split screen co-op video game with you on the PS3. That'd be sweet. I like this drawing a lot. The frequency at which I make impressive drawings like this, or drawings that impress me at least, has gone up steadily over the years. And I've heard it put in a bunch of different ways. That you start drawing and you might make one drawing in 100 that impresses you. This is a little critter page that I did with a dying felt pen. This marks one of my first critter pages. And, I have a lot more. A lot more. Goodness gracious, I see we gained 11 followers this stream. Thank you so much for your follows and for your attention, for your time. It is dearly appreciated. Cute, thank you very much. I was making an effort to draw something cute. I found through most of my life I've kind of drawn horror type of things. I believe this was with ink and a pen. This is one of my early, not pen, with a brush. This is one of my early ink and brush pieces. Streamer is good at what he does. You make me blush. This was a vent piece. It says gone, just with a lot of words strung together. And this is just a dude that I like his face. I like that dude. I don't know. This has stuck in my head. I drew this incredibly quickly. I'm ADHD. I find I draw a lot of my guys very quickly. I used to take a lot of time on a page. Well, I've gone through phases. Maybe that's obvious. If you're an artist, maybe you do the same. I go through a lot of phases of taking my time incredibly so, to the point that I have been on the same page for over 10 hours, or maybe 10 hours at top. Or maybe my ADHD mind tricked me into thinking I took incredible time on my drawings and then forced excuse me, how rude. And then forced me to just kind of rush through them. But now I'm trying to find a balance. I'm trying to find, some days I'll challenge myself to draw something from a reference in 30 minutes, in 5 minutes, in a few minutes. I need to start actually timing them and to make them real little challenges. But I've just been going through different phases of spending a lot of time. Like that first drawing I was showing you, like this, I spent a couple days. Not just like maybe an hour or two on that, I guess, or maybe 3. Not a lot of time. And this, I would like to time these. I'd like to time how long it takes me. Because this took about a week, maybe, of drawing. Maybe an hour or 2 at a time. Not every day, though. So I'd probably say that took like between 5 and 8 hours. Because you gotta go nice and slow and pay attention, and I'm making a concerted effort to use my shoulder and my elbow because my poor little wrist gets hurt. You draw a lot between calls at work? Ooh, I would love to see those. How would I see those? I post my drawings on here. Weekly I post. At least once a week I post my drawings. I'm going to make a post tomorrow of my doodles. And I would really, really love if you commented one or two or many of your drawings. I would love to see that. Maybe I'll just make some posts asking for some people to share their drawings. My Discord. We do have a Discord. I'll have to do something with it. I want to do a little adjustment on it, and we need to link it. But we'll have a Discord to share drawings. That would be rather lovely, wouldn't it? I would love that. This is a drawing I did a few years ago. Maybe let me turn this light off. How's that? Can you see it okay? Do Gojo? Might be cool. Maybe I'll do some daytime streams and I'll do drawing requests and stuff. This is a little world that I'm making. Thank you for the follow, Corbin. I've not drawn many, if any, things from anime. Are you able to see it okay in this? I turned the light off because it was shining off of the page. And this world is when I imagine being like, imagine D&D, imagine swords and battle axes and magic. And some parts of the world the landscape is alive. mountains with eyes and gaping maws, sitting idly, some waiting for creatures to wander in, and others just staring into nothing. It's my little world I'm making. What's your best? Well, I have a bit over 30 sketchbooks. I have some. My best tend to be in ink. In pen and ink. I've been using a dip pen these days. This is a little doodle page. My doodle pages are not necessarily my best, just doodles. These are doodles of North American folklore, and these tree folks are of the Stayeh Hachma tribe. Thank you for the follow, Lily. Your presence is known and appreciated. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And to you too as well, Corbin. And this is the Mahaha of Inuit lore. The Mahaha is a figure that follows groups of people out in the wild up north, and it sows discord among them, causing them to disagree and to fight and to separate. And the Mahaha will follow at a distance, letting its presence be known by placing carved things, carved pieces of rock, carved pieces of ice in your path. You'll hear the Mahahas cackle as you grow tired, as your strength leaves you and you collapse. The Mahaha will make itself seen by you in your final moments as it outstretches one long finger and pokes you, and you will begin to laugh, and you will not stop laughing until all of your energy is drained by the Mahaha, and all that is left of you is a body appearing to have succumbed to the cold of the north. And that is the Mahaha. Thank you for the crown. Thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you. I love you. And where do I have my book? I have a little book of folklore. I think it's right now I'm in the mood to keep showing you my art, so we'll do that for this stream, and then next time we're having a chill nighttime stream. I will be reading you stories for sure. And here's a little guy with a frog mask and a rock character I'm drawing. That's a little guy. Just a little doodle page. I like this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't remember why I drew it. Well, I remember just wanting to make like a guy. I'd like to draw more of it, whatever this is. Thank you for the follow, Liam. Your presence is known. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. Do you know any other folklore that was interesting? I know a load of folklore. I grew up. I'm native. I've only been to my reserve once as a young boy. I must have been 7 or 8. And we went there for a week. It's a little island up north some ways. It's very isolated. It's not many ferries going that way. And I hadn't seen my mother in some years. We'd been separated. I was living with my auntie. We went up to visit home. And my mother told me a bedtime story. She told me of the wild women of the woods. She told me of large women with baskets, woven baskets on their back, baskets covered in blackberry bushes and brambles to stick and poke you. Women that prowled looking for children who were out past when they were supposed to be home. Children who were misbehaving. You know, the boogeyman sort of deal. And thank you for the follow, Jay Rodriguez. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. He looks shy. I love that character. The wild women of the woods were the boogeyman, basically. And I remember being in bed asking my mother, can the wild women of the woods get me anywhere? And she said, yes. So I don't have to be by the woods. No, they can get you anywhere. They can get me here, in bed right now, on the 2nd floor. Yes, they can. So I remembered I'd imagine they can get me through the walls, I asked. She said, yes, they can get you through the walls. At first I imagined a massive figure lifting the roof, reaching in and plucking my sleeping body out of bed, throwing me into her basket full of brambles and thorny bushes, and taking away with me. And then I imagined them going through the walls like magically, plucking me out of bed. And I kept asking questions and making it worse for myself. Can they get me here? Will they eat me? Will they torture me? And all this. And my mother kept saying, yes, they'll do this and they'll do that. She didn't even have to tell the story. I just kept on making it worse and worse and worse. My mother has always had a good instinct for scaring me. Rather rough little instinct of hers. Thank you for the follow, King of Hip Hop. I love hip hop. And thank you for the follow, Candy. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. I remember that night, dreaming of the wild women of the woods. In my dream, I was walking on the reserve like I had been days before. The days that we walked, I walked with my brother and my cousin, and we made mud pies, and we roughhoused, and we ran around place to place, and we went everywhere with a little companion, a little res dog that had no name known to us, but it was a beautiful, white, fluffy dog, a husky perhaps, one blue and one brown eye that followed us from place to place for days and was gentle and kind with us and would just accompany us. Until one day we had to be apart from that dog. We were separated from that dog by my auntie picking us up because we had wandered by the dump. And a grizzly bear was present, very, very close to us. Now, black bears are easy, All you have to do for a black bear is yell, put your hands up, and they'll usually go away. Grizzly bears are not the same, so we had to be picked up. We never saw that dog, and in my dream I was looking for the dog. And I was looking and looking, wandering aimlessly. I got further and further from where houses were, and I got a little closer to the edge of the forest, wondering if the dog could be there. And before I could make a move, before I could even see what was happening, a hand had me, and I was thrown into a basket on the back of a massive, towering woman, 2 stories tall, who ran away with me. And all I could see through the woven basket and through the brambles. Now the basket was a massive, on the inside, a massive cone shape, leading to the bottom, a barren little woven spot that if I moved from it, I would be poked and stabbed by blackberry bushes. There was no way of climbing out of this except for through those, and I couldn't do it. So I stayed at the bottom of the basket, watching through the small holes of the weave as trees and bush and eventually rocky mountains passed by, and we went above where trees could grow to the rocky mountaintop above the clouds, and the lid of the basket opened, and a massive, nasty, clawed hand grasped me and took me out. And I saw a boy on a pyre or on a stake with a fire lit under him and his ribs showing. It appeared as though he had been starving there for some time, and I understood that that boy had been starving and he had been tortured and he would not die no matter what, because of some magic that the wild women of the woods had done to him, and that his fate was to be tortured and then eaten, and that I was to replace him on that very pole, to be tortured and starved for an unknown amount of time until I was eventually eaten. You love my stories. Thank you very much. That was the dream. That was the whole dream. I remember vivid. I should draw that dream. I can remember it very well. The imagery is burned into my skull. I've had several Wild Women of the Woods dreams, but that's the most intense and the most standout of them all. I don't even recall the other ones. I just have images of being taken away by massive women. Not in a sexy way either. Thank you for the follow, Blazin. Thank you for the follow, Nassan. Your presences are known and appreciated, and you are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And that's the Wild Women of the Woods. That's one of the first ones that I committed to memory, one of my local ones that I know of. I don't, because Skinwalkers and Wendy's, and I don't usually like to say Skinwalker because I'm superstitious, but I say the other names, so I figure what's the point, right? And Wendigos, those ones I heard about later in life. I didn't grow up with those stories, but I grew up with hearing of shapeshifters and hearing of the raven bringing the moon and bringing the sun. And I grew up with a show called Raven Tales that gave me a few stories that I have in my brain still. And I'd like to watch some of that more. It's very pretty. I've been making an effort to draw native things as well. I've been drawing this rattle that I have. Can you do whisper talking? I don't know. My voice is a little hoarse at the moment. Let's see. How's this? I've grown up with a lot of stories. Oh man, I was gonna say I wouldn't mind being taken to by a towering woman in a sexy way. Yeah, me as well. I enjoy a strong muscle bound lady, don't we all? No, they were old hags. They were mean, vicious sorts. Nothing appealing. My mother made sure to hammer that into my mind. And, Skins and Wendy's. Oh yeah, I call them skulkers. Skulkers and Wendy's. Yeah, in your area. I'm in a different area. Over here, I grew up with the stories of... I grew up with the story of the mosquito. The origin of the mosquito. There's a village, several villages, that were being tormented by a beast, by a great beast that would fly, and that would suck the blood from its victims. Larger than a man, large as a buffalo. It would fly, and it would just do away with hunters going out trying to get food, and eventually it would do away with anyone who was going out to try to deal with the monster. There were 4 villages that were in community somewhat with each other, just through proximity. They would all send their hunters, and none of them would come back. They sent all their men, they sent all their women, and all that was left was the children. And 2 of the oldest children from one village, not any older than 14 or 15, were all that were left to deal with the monster, to protect the younger ones. So they did what they had to do. They grabbed 2 sharpened sticks, and they went on tracking the steps of their fathers, their uncles, and their aunties, their family that had gone to feed this massive beast, with the hopes of killing it, I suppose, or finding where everybody had gone, perhaps, or anything. All they knew is that they couldn't stay at the village. So they left. A day and a night passed of just walking, and they came upon bones. And they followed the bones some ways to a cave where the bones were piled high to the mouth of the cave. The bones of 4 whole villages. No one had lived to tell of their encounters with the monster. And the monster lay at the mouth of the cave, outside of its cave because it could not fit with all of the bones and its rotund belly full of blood. It sat in slumber after a mighty meal, and the boys saw an opportunity in this, a sleeping beast that they could work with. And because it was outside of its cave, it was somewhat exposed. So the boys scouted around quietly, slowly, making every effort not to breathe. Moving so slowly, it felt as though it was days of them saw a rock above the mouth of the cave, above the monster. And they knew that was their only path to victory. The 2 meager sticks that they had packed with them would not puncture the skin of this monster. More formidable people and tools had been brought to its flesh and had been found wanting. So they climbed and they climbed over hours to the top of the cave, and each of them stuck their stick under the rock and levered it out and onto the monster that was promptly squished and exploded into millions upon millions of mosquitoes. And so it was slain, made into a smaller form that we now know as the mosquito. And that is the origin of the mosquito. Are you familiar with triple D? No. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you. 100 minutes watching. Ooh, thank you. Your presence is noted. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody, for your time, and for your viewership. You are appreciated. Remember to like and follow if you enjoy. Mostly my posts currently are of me doing drawing and stuff. I like to post these stories. I like to post stories that I've heard through my life. That was a story my uncle told me as a child. Probably about 8 or 9 as well, hearing that. I have stories that I read from this book as well. Frightful Folklore of North America. Illustrated folklore from Greenland to the Panama Canal. Very lovely book, very fantastic, very stimulating for the imagination. Thank you for following Snippety Schopenhauer. Doing some work and came back to 25 viewers. Yes, but absolutely incredible. The most viewers I've ever had on any platform. Thank you for being here. I love you. Thank you for the follow, Ash. Post these stories, they're amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. For so long I wanted more stories, and for so many years I forgot that I'm an adult and that I have my own money now and I can buy books. So I recently bought this book. I bought this book in December when I bought my harmonica and started learning that, and I started committing this to memory. I have a few of these stories memorized already. With that, I take my leave. Love you, bro. Love you too, brother. I hope to see you soon. I hope to speak with you soon. Almost at the follower goal. Ooh, 94 out of 100. Thank you so much for bringing us here. We've gained 22 beautiful followers this stream. Have I even thanked 22 people? That's incredible. Gosh. You are lovely, and I hope you never forget that. And I hope you know that I will be sending you well wishes in my idle time. Anytime I have a second by myself, I'm going to be sending all of you lovely folks my hopes and dreams for you to have a smile on your face and a happy life. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the follow, Cap. Have you ever heard of the Tommyknockers. Yes, I have. I've heard of them. I'm not very familiar. Are the Tommyknockers, is that mining lore? Is that to do with mining? What a wonderful soul you are. Honored to see you on my FYP tonight. I am honored to see you here in my stream tonight. A fellow wonderful soul. Thank you very much. The Tommyknockers. That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? I was, Thank you for the follow, Lee. I was showing drawings of mine before going into stories. Here, let me turn this on for you. This is part of a world I'm making. These are my eyeball cliffs. They've become my signature somewhat. Awesome ASMR, do you have a YouTube channel? I have not posted anything to the YouTube channel. Pixie Lee, is the YouTube channel under the Sweet Bard? If we have that set up, it would be good to have people subscribe to it for when I do post. I have been recording storytelling in Audacity. I figure I ought to probably just start posting. Wait, Pixie, have we started posting any of our... Yeah, the YouTube channel only has VODs at the moment. That's so creative. Thank you, Desi. Thank you. I've been working on this little world for a while. Couple of years. And just... Not all versions of them have eyelashes. Shame this little goofy camera. Also draw, like, I've been learning to draw animals and birds, and that raven in the window is an Odilon Redon piece that I was studying. Would you ever consider skateboarding? I don't know. I'm rather scared to hurt myself. I've always wanted to be a skateboarding type. It seemed cool. I think anybody who can... I'd like to do tricks on a skateboard. This is just a little doodle page. I like this. I like that guy. A man growing antlers. The Sweet Bard on YouTube, and go over there for VODs, and I will be eventually. I have no timeline on it for lately. Life has been awfully hectic, but I will be posting stories, and I'd like to post time-lapse drawings of folklore and stuff like that. Yes, you were my first love. We have to make a link tree soon? Yeah. I wasn't expecting to gain 23 followers this stream. Thank you so much for being here. You found longboarding easier to learn? Yeah, that would be nice. I'd like to... In the town that I'm in, I could not possibly see myself starting anything like that. I used to bike to work and stuff. Are you talented or just years of practice? Years of practice. I've been drawing since I was 2 years old. And I'm turning 25 in a couple months. So it's been just about 23 years. Let me catch up on... I'm not used to having so many people around, so I have to actually read what you lovely folks are saying. You missed it. What's the YouTube name? The same as here. The Sweet Bard. I guess it's pinned now for you, right? Yeah, I guess I don't. I feel like I don't believe in talent in that way, but also I've been doing this for so insanely long that it's maybe I'm just full of shit for saying that. Cause I, uh, recently I saw a video talking about your innate hardware, that that belief that if you spend 10,000 hours in something, you're a master. That's not true. That you might spend 10,000 hours drawing and never make anything that resembles mine, or maybe is not on the same quality, or is just missing something, or is in a different area. Like your hardware is different from mine, and my hardware is very much arts. It's all in the arts. It's in my memory, it's in my mind. That's where my hardware is. Let me read it. The size of the board really up. Board control. Goated method, yeah. As I was saying, I will never do that in this town because I live in a small town of folks who are rather terrible at drawing. Or not drawing, driving. And I found myself in danger when I would bike around, so I stay away from that. Also, my feet are bum. I have plantar fasciitis that I've been slowly taking care of over the last year or two, and it's been improving. I've been able to walk comfortably, finally, after years of agony. You love skateboarding, but you broke yourself many times. You stick to the longboard. Yeah, that's a story I've heard a lot too. 25, more like turning 19. Oh, goodness gracious, heavens to Betsy. Is that a comment on my youthful look? I'm used to people saying that I look a lot older than I am. I can only pin for 60 seconds because being a mod on here is worthless. Yeah, the mod tools are so funny on TikTok. What made you get into ASMR kind of stuff? Pixie Lee. Pixie Lee, my moderator and dearest friend, was just, and among many other people, I have been told for a very long time that I should do something with my voice. For a very long time. So, just at some point, I used to stream on Twitch, and I stopped doing that for a while because of life developing and stuff like that. And recently I found more time and I wanted to stream terribly. So I started streaming here on TikTok, and I started with like silly role play, which there's some, I don't know if, have we saved any of those VODs, Pixie? I started with role play, playing goofy characters, and then did an ASMR stream for my first time. Had a random goodie bag of stuff to explore, and this is my third ASMR stream I've done. So just kind of years of people telling me I had a voice for it, and eventually just checking it out. You think every skill is learnable, but some people are prone to mastering certain things. Yes, I agree. I don't really believe in talent. Specifically not in myself. I don't really think I'm talented. For a while I took it as an insult, because I've worked every day for a long time to just to cultivate my imagination. And sometimes I worry that that doesn't show in my technical skills, but then I remember kind of what I had to put up with in my life. I'm making up for lost time. And I hesitate to say it like that because that's that's like a sentiment that's full of regret for things I had no power over, you know? If that makes any sense. I feel like I'm being very vague. But basically, I'm a bit of a traumatized dude. So a lot of things took my time away from drawing. And I feel that I'm not a talented artist, I'm a skilled artist, that I have busted my ass every single day to be here. I'll keep that light on, you know? And I think that if other people work every day, they'll also be good at drawing, but it'll be different, and I think that's beautiful. Here's another little doodle page. The little cool owl dude. I grew up learning that owls were like an omen of death and a symbol of death. So I draw them as creepy little guys. And I love them. That's a little character of mine. Making up for time you're never given, exactly. And supplies. Playing with new art supplies, and I recently have bought markers and I've been exploring color. Excuse me. Exploring colors has been very lovely and cool. I need to make more critter pages like this. Just with little whimsical guys. Dude, you're so wise. Thank you. I appreciate you saying so. It's always lovely to hear that, isn't it? That the time you spend... Because I have a very active brain, and I spend a lot of time feeling tortured. So I've spent a load of time turning that into productive thought, into tolerable thought. So it's always nice to hear that that has gone well. Those VODs are uploaded. Let's see. It wasn't the correct time, so you feel that's always a loss. Yeah, exactly. Making up for time. Everything does happen when it's supposed to. Good artist in this medium, thank you. Often the hardest on ourselves, absolutely. I think I am basically I'm the worst artist that has ever existed at all times. But also, my ego, I'm the best fucking artist in the world. No one can do it like me. Everybody else, Picasso, who's that? It's only sweet. It's only Maceo here. That's me, Maceo Sweet. Another little critter page. These were suggested by random people. I forget which one was suggested by Pixie. And I think one or two of her brothers suggested other stuff. What's your take and view on religion as a whole? Woof. For starters. Coda, thank you for the follow. This is a page I'd call Grandma. It's a little vent page. I like it a lot. Made this 2 years ago now. Yes, it's a give and take between being humble and cocky, exactly. Which is exactly how I view mine. Because are you an artist as well? We really have to start that Discord back up. I'd really love to see that art channel filled with all these lovely folks' art. That would be beautiful. That's my dream. I post art on TikTok about once a week. I think I missed last week. I need to make a post for it. And mostly just been doodles. On any of my posts, I would really love to see your art. I'm gonna make sure to add that next time I'm posting, is to just share my doodles and prompt you lovely folks to share your art as well, because that's my favorite thing in the world, is seeing other people's stuff. I've been doing art for so long, my appetite for it is like massive. I get depressed when I'm not consuming and creating enough art. I get majorly depressed, and it like hits fast. Here's a little doodle page from this sketchbook that I'm currently working in. You can see, if it would, there you are. That's my cat Penny. It's a little, like, witch's house. Little dude. My little eyeball scenery. No sound detected. Can you hear me? Why did it say that? Singer and hairstylist. Ooh, singer. That's cool. I love singing. I also sing. I haven't had a ton of teachings, but I love to sing, and I do it every day. And I have been learning the harmonica. I've been teaching myself since December. Hairstylist, that's cool. I ought to get you on my hair. It needs a little trimming, just for my split ends. This is a little like witch's abode. The little like lamp with a little chicken foot or whatever. Little side table with hoofs, herbs hanging. Gotta head out, but I'll look for the next post. Have a beautiful night. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And thank you for being here. We go live every weekend. And holy smokes, with the traffic today, potentially adding weekdays. Been learning how to scream over the last few years. That's cool, and I'd be there for you in the hair dip. Thank you. It's almost 3 a.m., so you gotta head to bed. It was very lovely meeting you as well, and thank you for your presence. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. Take care of yourself and be kind. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you soon. I'm just going to be going through more of these pages. Thank you for the follow, Steph. Thank you. This is another doodle page. Just a rather random doodle page. I like stream of consciousness. I like just drawing without a plan. Lately, I've been trying to add that structure. But every once in a while, I need to make sure I'm drawing with no plan, so I can get that. It feels like a clump and a tangle of interwoven ideas that are stuck together, that are just getting piled and piled and piled on through my daily life and all my imaginings, and I just have to spit them onto a page. So I try that. Have you ever tried with anything with anticipatory ASMR? No. I am not aware of what anticipatory ASMR means. I'm rather new to ASMR, actually. This is my third ASMR stream. And before I started doing ASMR, I was not a fan of it because I had not identified any of my triggers. But as I've been doing it, I've been learning things that I enjoy. And I've been learning an appreciation for ASMR. Is anticipatory ASMR... Oh, did you hear my stomach? Is that something you can explain to me, or should I look into it in my spare time? Here's another doodle page. It's a little ominous guy. I draw that guy a lot. I imagine him as a mage of some sort. I haven't decided if he's like a wizard who's learned magical abilities or a sorcerer who has them innately, or if I even want to use that kind of style, like D&D style of magic ability in this world. Thank you for the follow, Oz. Anticipatory is like the idea that you're about to hear something on cue, but then something changes, disrupting the pattern and flow, but it's crazy. I see. That sounds interesting. I don't understand. I'd like to... Oh, sounds like there's a bit of commotion in the house. That looks really damn good. Thank you very much. And this is custard. This is a little character I'm making. It's a little spider lady that I would like to sew into a doll. That's my name, Maceo Binder. You were my first love. And this is, I wish I could explain it neurologically, but your brain basically wants to hear the pattern. I see. If you ever want to sell an art book with horror folklore art, I'll buy it in a heartbeat. What a lovely thing to hear. What a beautiful thing to hear. That will certainly be in our future someday. Certainly, certainly. I want nothing more than to live off of selling my art, or off of creating and sharing my art in some way. This is a study of the work of Odilon Redon, an old French artist. This is the Raven. But yeah, I'll probably look up a video on it and see an example of it. Maybe I'll try it out. These are more recent arts. The ones I was showing you in the other book were from years ago mostly. Then the last ones I was showing you from like 6 months ago. This is from about 4 to 6 months ago. Just an old guy. I've got to get that purple. That was a fine line purple micron. I have to get that out again and continue working on them. And that's a little armless guy. Little armless, legless guy. I imagine him in a dungeon. I wanted to draw somebody walking upon him with a torch, like they were here to break him out, and they see him in this state. If you can tell, his head is down. Thank you for the follow, Hoops Splash. Your presence is known. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. You love it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. How are we doing, Pixie Lee? Are we going over time? Would you like me to end? We have 100. Ooh, 100 follower goal. Goodness gracious and heavens to Betsy. Wow. The last thing I expected when I signed on tonight was to gain 26 followers. Holy smokes. That's schmackin'. You are positively making my night. Gosh, that's the most followers I've ever gained in a single stream. All thanks to you, lovely folks, and your lovely, lovely presence. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. I've been practicing native art lately. It is incredibly difficult. There's a lot of symmetry and a lot of straight lines, and I have a very shaky hand, and I tend not to use any rulers or tools of that sort. So that's a raven mask. Both of those are. And that's a raven bird. And that's a raven. How often do I stream? So, ASMR, this is my third ASMR stream. I've been streaming, I streamed it this weekend, I streamed it last weekend, and then like months before. But I plan on doing ASMR streams every night on the weekend. So that's Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night is the hope. This weekend was a complete and utter shit show. So this is the only night I've streamed this weekend. And judging by how people are, I'll probably experiment with a stream or two during the week. At night. During the day is too noisy. The street I live on is too noisy. Weekdays would be chill, I agree. How often do I stream? But yeah, I might have people over tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow night. And I won't make promises, but I would like to post more. So maybe I'll post about it, or like set a day for my next stream. But I would like to stream during the week, one of these days, between Tuesday and Thursday. And I will be back on Friday night for sure with another chill sort of stream like this. Would this still be considered ASMR? If so, then I would be doing another stream like this. Little page. And then little raven riding on a weird hand guy. You love these? Thank you. Thank you kindly. I love sharing my art with new people. It's one of the greatest joys of my life. I've always liked talking about my art and just having new eyeballs on it. Little lizard wizard guy. Little cute guy. I spend most of my life drawing in pencil. A couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago just about, I got heavily into inks, and now I'm making an effort to get into coloring my pieces. The art is so tough. Thank you kindly. Thank you, thank you. Your compliments are appreciated, and they will go to my head. I am the shit. This is the Hokoku, the great massive raven that flies so high you would for sure mistake it for nothing but a normal raven until it decided that you were its next target, in which case the Hokoku would make a dive, becoming larger and larger, casting its shadow upon you with its great wings and snatching you up in its talons. At which point the Hokoku would proceed to play with you, to drop you from great heights and catch you for hours on end, poking and prodding you with its talons, biting at you with its beak, until eventually it decides to bite your head off and call it end of playtime, the beginning of mealtime. And that's if you're lucky. That can go on for days. If the Hokoku decides that it is not hungry for you, it will bring you to its nest, at which point you will be subjected to the baby Hokoku that have not yet learned to effectively kill its prey, and you will be further tortured by these by these younger Hokoku to practice killing. How long did it take you to draw that? Well, it's not finished, so I haven't spent a ton of time. This one has ranged probably between 30 minutes and an hour so far, and I'd like to put more time into it, and I'd like to post it. And I would like to post it with that story. Such a good ASMR voice, you don't even need to whisper. Thank you. Gosh, all of your compliments are gonna blow my head up. That's why I got into streaming again, because random people that I would meet would just keep telling me that I had a voice that I should do stuff with, do podcasts or do anything. Thank you for the follow, Luke. Thank you. Your presence is known. You're strong, you are wise, and you are loved. All of you are. Thank you for your follows and likes. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for having breasts on stream, no matter how abstracted they are. That figure I just showed you is the Erlevirsaniuk of the Greenland lore. The Erlevirsaniuk, her story is of two men traveling in the snow, lost, having walked for days, seeing no food and no shelter. At the ends of their rope, they lean on each other and they walk until they see smoke billowing, and they see the source, a house. The first house they've seen in quite some time. They make their way to the house and knock on the door. Heavy footsteps are heard, and a squat, wide figure opens the door. Her head is wider than it is tall. Her mouth, a massive, gaping maw of gap teeth and rotted molars. Her eyes, two black dots, and her nostrils, two more black dots right under them on her wide, flat nose. Her hair matted to her face and her skull is a mess. Topless, she answers the door with her breasts hanging down to her belt, where a sculpin fish is hanging between her legs, and a massive knife. Erlevirsaniuk invites them in, and the men sit at her table, and look at each other in bewilderment at the sight of such an interesting looking person. Erlevirsaniuk was in the middle of making a meal, cutting fish and adding them to her cauldron, while the men watched in bewilderment. And one of the men, as he watched Erlevirsaniuk's breasts slap against each other and slap against the fish that she was handling and slap around, and he found the sight so ridiculous he couldn't help but laugh. Erlevirsaniuk turned around, leapt across the table. In less than a moment, she had her knife in her hand, and his gut was cut open. His entrails piled out of his body, and Erlevirsaniuk dug in with her hands, and she whistled, calling her cauldron over to her. The cauldron ran across the room with delight to become a holder for this man's intestines as his friend watched. Erlevirsaniuk's kindness being repaid in kind or in blood. And that's the story of Erlevirsaniuk. That's one of my favorites from the book so far. I love her, and I drew her. I want to show the cauldron I drew, but I don't know about getting there. And I drew it with that's her cauldron running over to her. You're writing a book? No. That's a story. Oh gosh, that light is so bright. That is a story from Frightful Folklore of North America. I guess I am doing some writing of my own. Earlier in the stream, I was reading a dream of mine that I've been writing. I have about 1,400 words written so far, and it's coming along. I had the dream a couple nights ago, and I've only had a few hours aside to work on it. And it's a rather long read, so I'll save it for the next stream. But I am doing some writing of my own. But that was just from my memory of this book. And here's, let me turn this back on for you. Here's more practicing native art. Trying to be in touch with my heritage, my culture. It is extremely difficult. This is just a little character I was working on based on native art. I've found through my life, like the shapes of the eyes, it's just a shape I have naturally drawn eyes for a long time, and the way that areas are filled with random shapes, like that's a thing that appears in lots of my art. There's lots of just native things that have randomly appeared just through my identity, subconsciously. Wow, dude, you just woke up for worky, you wanna pass away? Oh, holy shit. That's a little character. This is, I guess this is like a version of me in my dreams that I'm writing. This is the version of me that is fighting a demon king. Not really as grandiose as it sounds. Those dreams tend to be really tortured. A lot of anxiety. A lot of the feeling of the entire world being against me. And the knowledge that It's like our world that we live in, but some people have knowledge of demons and magic. So I am one of few people. And my first dream I had in this world was years ago, where I was in school and I was just dropped into this reality where I was one sole person with knowledge of a great evil that had to be destroyed as a young man. And I just remember crying and praying for help. Somebody asked my thoughts on religion earlier. She's 100? Yeah, we got 28 followers this stream. It's been crazy. Congrats. Thank you. Do we have to celebrate somehow? Goodness gracious. His newest badass dream. Yeah. Oh, what is that? A galaxy. Thank you for the galaxy, Bodhi. Gosh. Yeah, you were in my recent dream. It was cool. We must celebrate. Fucking galaxy. Woo. Oh. My ass is screaming at me. I need a new chair terribly. Gosh, where even was I? There's a series of dreams that I'm committing to writing. I have, if you're familiar with Milanote, that's how I've been organizing my dreams and my thoughts. I have 4 or 5, maybe 6 dreams now in that world that I'm slowly... I've only got a few hours of writing into it, but I'm slowly working into a cohesive timeline. They are just dreams, and my dreams are very intense. I have many nightmares. I've always had nightmares. I've always had night terrors and wake up kicking and screaming and hitting. Gotta set up a throne and put a chair on there? Yeah. Do you lucid dream? Somewhat. I enjoy dreams being chaotic and out of my control. Somewhat. Lucid dreams sounds like... When I think of lucid dreaming, I think of having like a creative Minecraft world where you can control everything, and I don't want that from a dream. But I don't want to throw a punch at someone and for it to be completely ineffective. So in my dreams, that's where I lucid dream, where I'm like, you are going to feel this, and this is how you're going to react. And that's how my lucid dreaming works, is that like, I think of something really hard, and I'm like, it works positively and negatively, where I'm like, oh, I really hope there's not a scary, like, corpse woman downstairs crawling up the stairs trying to come get me. And then obviously that happens, right? So that's like one part of my lucid dreaming. And then, like I just said, the fighting part, where I used to fight and it would be like noodles, like the classic. You dream with the conscious and remember them, but you don't know you're dreaming. They feel so... Yes! So... maybe next stream... You're giving me ideas. I'd like to tell you my dreams, because I have I have a bookload of fucking dreams. I have several, not full books, but I have like just sporadically written in sketchbooks and like notebooks and in Milanote my dreams. So like I have a ton of dreams to tell stories about, and they're absolutely terrifying, ridiculous, insane, bewildering. Like I swear I was in another world for a month, that I wasn't dreaming, that I got a fucking job, that I met new people, that I like lived days, I ate food, I went home and I streamed, and I like all this shit. I spent a month straight in another world. And that's a dream I love telling people about, but it's a bit long right now. Could write a huge book with his dreams. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to write a book. I'd like to write several books. Right now, I'm just drawing in this one. This is, I don't know, Hoop Splash. I think you were there when I was talking about the Mahaha, right? These are panels of, that I was messing around with. So I started streaming on TikTok like 2 months ago, and leading up to that, it was like 2 months of planning where I had these ideas of I was gonna draw a page, like a comic book, of like 6 to 10 panels telling the stories of these folklore that I've been recounting to you. Excuse me. That I was gonna draw them, and this is one of the. These are some of the ideas that I had for a panel of the Mahaha story. And I have like a few sitting around. I have like this is another random panel of it. That's the people being turned against each other by the Mahaha. And that man in the forefront is looking at a statue that the Mahaha carved for him. Or, well, for one of them to find. This is a drawing of another version of me climbing up a cliff to see a griffin. Oh, my little. Do I give you enough time to look at them? Or would you like more time? I took this one down quickly because it's just pretty early. I started it 2 months ago, I think. Maybe a month. Yeah, like 2 or 3 months ago. I'd like to continue on it. But I've just been ADHDing. I've been going from page to page to page. Give us plenty of time. Excellent. Another doodle page. That that was not intended to be like a short goofy arm. Like that arm was just one that I didn't complete, and then I had like drawn a hand here. It's not supposed to look like that. It's just like hand practice with a like a hat man practice, because there's a story. I forget what he's called. I could look. There's the Hat Man in this Frightful Folklore book, and his story's pretty cool. Oh, no. Hi-Hat on page 117. I'm tempted to read it, but I really, really am enjoying showing you my art. If you'd like, I could read it, but if you're okay with it, I'll just keep showing you my drawings. This was a gentleman that I saw on TikTok. And I don't know how it looks right there. I'm extremely critical of my drawing skills, so I feel the urge to make excuses. Like, I only spent 30 to an hour on this and stuff like that, right? But I like him. Just like a stoner wizard. He's making a little... Maybe I'll post this, because there's so many things I want to post. Gosh, goodness gracious. You gotta tag him with that soon. I agree. This was a dude that I saw on TikTok who was just doing a little skit. They're like, "Ha, great warrior, you've returned from slaying the mighty dragon. Sick." And he was like selling weed to him, basically, and potions. Thank you for the follow. Emoji. of a lady, I think. It's very small on my screen. But I like this. And I would love to redraw him as well. Because I used a ballpoint pen for this. A rather shitty, a very shitty one that I was just using because I didn't have my dipping pen and my inks. And because I was being precious with my materials, so I try to use crappy materials sometimes, so I push myself out of that zone of like, I can't use my art supplies because I'm going to waste it on my terrible skills. So I just use trash stuff, and since I've got more comfortable with drawing again, I've been back to using my nice primo fucking supplies. This is a dragon that I have to continue. Just drew that in a spur of the moment because I hadn't drawn dragons for a while, and this is. And then I did the thing where I was like, that dragon is looking so good, I can't mess that page up, but I want to practice, so I just started another page and started drawing creatures, and the wingspans and the bodies and weird little guys. I like that thing. I'd like to do something with that bird. That sounded sinister. I'd like to draw that board more. Excuse me. It's rather late. My speaking skills are going out the window. Another dragon. Ending in 5 to 10. Yeah, I agree. We'll end in 5 to 10. It's quite late here. Oh, my little soldier boy. So, tomorrow I'll probably be busy in the day, so I'd probably like to spend my night relaxing. Laying down, that is. If I'm not, I might stream, but don't expect to stream tomorrow. But any night after tomorrow, high chance of me streaming. This is a doodle page from the other day or the other week that I'd like to continue. I was doing this on stream. If you remember that Odin study of the raven, this is kind of a little version of that. That's watercolor for the fox. I really, really want to do more mixed media with watercolor and my dipping pen and my inks specifically. That's my stomach. I don't know if you can hear that guy going crazy. I really like the way that feels. You like the eye design? Ooh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's like a shutter opening and a fox peeking into your window. I love that drawing of the raven in the window that Odin made. It just feels like intrusive. Just having a wild animal landing in your window and peeking in and shit, right? But ravens are cool, and that is kind of like an uneasy situation. This feels very uneasy, like not quite a wolf, not a massive beast, but like a formidable animal peeking into your domicile. And then up there's just like my little world with my eyeball cliffs and a weird mollusk of some sort. Imagining that is like the size of a mountain. And then got little bird guy with tendrils growing on him and flowers. Just a rather cool little page. Gotta show a close up. Did I show the close up? I wasn't paying attention. Feels very good on my brain. wish this camera would stay focused. Thank you for the follows and the likes. You are all very lovely. I post art about once a week. I feel I may find a new not inspiration necessarily, but new revitalized energy now that I have so many eyeballs to share my art with. I would like to post more. This is just me. Do you sell? I haven't sold any of my art yet. I would like to set up a way. Message for you. Thank you for message for me. What is that? Thank you, Bodhi. Love you. This is just me. Pixie pointed out that it looks like a comic, so I'd made this and like that, and just made it really dramatic. This and these were not made with reference. These were just 3 random pictures of me. This is the image of me that I used as a profile picture on Twitch. That is a lovely thing to hear, Hoops. I would like to set something up. I'd like to make that a reality. This is, I watched the old Alice in Wonderland movie for the first time recently. This was like one frame of after she cried so much she filled the fucking room with her tears because she was massive, and then became small in a bottle and was just like sitting there in her own tears, and it became like pretty and purple and yellow, and that's what I was drawing. That's the figure of Pixie Lee in there, that character. I draw Pixie a lot. This was just a stream I did a little while ago where people were requesting Looney Tunes for me to draw. I chose Sylvester first because Sylvester's my favorite Looney Tune. And I have vivid memories of him from childhood being like addicted to birds and going to Birds Anonymous, and like, or being Italian and being sleepless and bloodshot and all that stuff like that. That creepy Tweety. I'd like to do another request drawing stream. That'd be cool. Here's were you there earlier when I showed the vampire hoop splash? This is like different ideas for that vampire guy. And just trying things. That bottom right one was like inspired by if you've ever seen the movie They Clone Tyrone, the character that fucking Jamie Foxx plays. And then we have 2 more pages. So that's me. My cat is chewing on her food back there, if you can hear that. A little bit of ASMR eating. That's me. That's a picture I took with some medicine. With a little doubler. You didn't see the vampire? Oh, let me show you. I'm a little soldier boy. So this is the vampire. He's not like obviously a vampire, but I've made him, I call him the vampire. He's licking blood off his lips, and he's got blood on his hand. And I just like the idea of him being like a bloodbender. I've been calling him a hemomancer. Like he has the ability to control blood, so he holds it and it looks like beads on his neck and it looks like jewelry on his ear, but in a pinch he can call that blood to be a needle through your neck. And he's a bit sinister, a little bit sinister. And then this is another drawing of myself. Oops. You can see that being an anime villain. Yeah, I'm really happy with them. Thank you for sharing the live again. Thank you for being here, Toothless. It's been so lovely having you. And it's been so lovely having you, Hoop Splash. I'll get back to showing this, the last couple pages. Here's some more native art. That's a bear. I'm a little impatient and I'm a little ADHD. I'm extremely ADHD. This is the bear rattle in question. I'll use this for ASMR often. I'll trace its face or tap on it. And you'll probably see that next stream or one of the next ASMR streams. It is absolutely insane how many folks we've had in here. Thank you for all being here. Remember to like and follow if you haven't already. And your presence is appreciated. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. And these are images from a dream I had recently. This is my hand, with my ringed hand calling upon mana into physical form. Kind of looks like a baguette. But this is part of that series of dreams I was having where I have to fight demons. And it's not like all that warfare. It's not like I'm out shooting demons with a gun. It's more like I'm aware that an army of demons is forming and causing chaos invisibly in the world, and I need to do something about it. And then along the way I find other people who know or are aware in some way, or like convince people, and I just need to write so much of this for you guys. I need to write it and I need to share it with you. Because I have so many cool things I want to share with you. I need to write them. So in this dream, we were, myself, Pixie, and Bodhi were hiding in this tower. We were they were hiding in the tower, and their abilities are as artificers. And this is my drawing of the character of Pixie. And I'm a little shy showing it because I'm so critical of my skills, but I'm pretty happy with how she's coming along. She's like an artificer, like a radio bag on her back with antennas going up that have runes on them, magically attuned. She got big old thick goggles on so she can see magic and see mana. Got her doodads and trinkets, and just want her to kind of look like an engineer or like a radio operator or something. And there's a old Volkswagen Beetle in the dream that they had like decked out with magical equipment. Now, myself being the ring bearer was magically attuned because of the ring. I was able to, like, it expanded my being to be able to interact with magical things and to see mana. And that ability slowly grew until eventually my most like grandiose ability is to summon like a stake of mana and to bring it up, and with the great amount of strength that took and focus is just glowing, just like lightning. Recently, I was sitting in the living room and I saw a meteor, or meteorite, whichever one is entering the atmosphere, and the ocean, because I have an ocean view, and the island was all lit up blue. Everything was lit up with a great light, and I saw a streak, one blue streak. And that's what I imagine. I imagine a massive explosion of light and a streak of blue, and that's what that ability is. Other than that, mostly the ring gives me abilities to like hide and to be aware. It's not very offensive in that way. It's like defensive and protective and preventative. Thank you for the follow, Money Chaser. And that, I'm afraid, is that. We have gained 30 followers this stream. Holy smokes. Breathe that in. Let me breathe that in. I'll take a breath. And holy shit. I really appreciate you all. You're beautiful. You are strong, you are wise, and you are loved. I hope you're doing things that make you happy, and I hope you're sharing them. Thank you for the likes, and thank you for the follows. Thank you for the shares, and thank you for your time and your attention. I appreciate it dearly. And I will be thinking about this heavily. I will be streaming again at some point in the week. It'll be at night again. So I'm on the West Coast. So my streams will usually start sometime after 9 o'clock. These days they've been starting at about 10 and going on about 2 hours. Today's been 3 hours though. Goodness gracious. So I'll see you again during the week. And I will definitely see you again on Friday, because I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And through the week, I'll be experimenting sporadically. And I hope to see you there. And I'll be making another post about art. And I'll be asking you lovely folks if you have any art to share. So I'd love to see any art you have posted in comment sections and in my posts and stuff like that. Thank you, Bodhi. Thank you for the teddy bear creature thing. Thank you for the follow, Max. You're strong, you are wise, and you're loved. Anybody who's watching and enjoyed, make sure to follow if you'd like to see more. I'd love to see more of you. That's all I have tonight. I'll just leave you with the reminder to eat food, drink water, do backflips. Don't die. Do the things you love and share the things you love. You're strong, you are wise, and you are loved. Have a beautiful night. Have a good night. Thank you. Be in the next. I'd love to see you there. You're strong, you are wise, you are loved. And I'll see you soon. See. Good night.